to see the Malaysian experience.
But the two part, right? Okay. My intent for discussion for today, right? This,
yes.
The concept, the first week, and then next week maybe the implementation about Malaysian planning. My suggestion.
Yeah, you may elaborate because I didn't elaborate well because I'm focusing on the planning process in Indonesia at the national, provincial, and district level. So you can, you will add the theory and also the concept on the sustainable development.
No problem.
Let's see, it's 23. Let me check my assistant. Would be okay to wait for a couple minutes, 2 or 3 minutes?
Sorry, Doctor?
Would it be okay to wait for 2 or 3 minutes?
No problem.
I will send my WhatsApp to all the students to
no problem.
quickly attend.
Understand.
Okay, since already 25, my class is around 28, so probably 25, and we are also having the YouTube link as well. So if they cannot join, so they can open the YouTube. So we link to the YouTube. So I will start the class today. Okay, good morning everyone. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today we are grateful to have our guest lecturer from Malaysia, Professor Dr. Ahmad Zubir Ibrahim. He will give us the material or the concept on the sustainable development goals. So we are going to have two classes. For today, we are going to have the concept of sustainable development goals, and then the next week we can learn how the experience or the Malaysian experience on conducting or incorporating sustainable development in the planning process. As we already discussed in the very beginning, that one of the goal of the development planning is sustainability. So the sustainable development goal is important because how to reach the sustainability in many different aspects, from education, social, physical, and all different aspects of the welfare for the society that are created through planning. For not furthering ado, and I will just give the time to Professor Ahmad Zubir to start the lecture. And again, thank you for having the lecture in my class.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Rahma. Okay. Ya, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
How are you?
For
my student? Okay. Firstly, I'm very
let me mute. Why? Okay, sorry.
Firstly, Doctor, can you allow me to share the PowerPoint?
Yes, sure. But Adibah, tolong di co-hostkan.
But because I want to try to share,
Yeah,
right?
you already co-host, so you can share the screen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Okay, thank you very much to give opportunity for today for me, right? Actually, to share. I just share my little bit knowledge, my experience, right, in the sustainability. I have no expert in this area, but I to try to give my knowledge, my experience, because it's my previous experience, right? In the food security and related with the sustainability, right? Before this, before I start the lecture, I introduce myself, right? I'm Ahmad Zubir Ibrahim. Is a lecturer from the School of Government, right? University Utara Malaysia. Okay, but nowadays I'm still work from home. Okay, from home. Okay, because okay. Alright. Okay. Thank you very much for UMY to give me opportunity, right? The opportunity to share my knowledge and experience to among your student. Okay. But the topic is discussed for today about the Sustainable Development Planning Malaysian experience. Okay, part 1 and part 2 I will be discussed, right? More to the planning, right? What the Malaysian government planning and try to do, okay, before this, during the independent days, until now, until the COVID, right? For what? But for the next week, I will be try focus about the people, maybe the 5 pillar for the sustainability. Okay. Okay, for the discussion for today, right, for the my knowledge, I will discuss about the concept of sustainability, okay, Asian SDG, okay, and implementation sustainability concept in Malaysia. Okay, nowadays, right, nowadays, I think you already know about the facing the problem, okay, facing the problem in the um, in the world. This is a you look, right? You look about the 55%, right? 55% the world population have no access to social protection. Okay, so half world population. Okay, at the same time, around 700 million people and extreme in the poverty in 2015. To show about the world. Okay, in that case, okay, in that case, right, the numbers, okay, to more than 90% of death due to disaster occur in the low or middle income countries. This is a very important nowadays, because the report from the SDG from the United Nations, right, until 2019. Until it's at the causes of COVID also give impact, the hard impact to the sustainability. But at the same time also, right, at the same time also, the around 800 million, the undernourished, okay, and up from to 784 million in 2015. This is to show about the people in the Malaysia, in the world, right, to facing about the hunger is increased time to time. Okay, at the 2/3, right, undernourished people world come from the sub-Saharan Africa and Southern Asia. Okay, this is the effect. If the people facing about the poverty, for example, facing about the extreme poverty, for example, facing about the hunger, for example, how to do to achieve the sustainability livelihood, especially among the people. At the same time also, right, the report also to show, okay, to show about the around under 5 that dropped from the 9 vaccine. This is a vaccine about the health. Okay, vaccine result in a 80% drop is mentioned there. It's between 2000 and 2017. Okay, how about the education also? I give you the surface, the scenario in the WhatsApp day. Okay, this is a children. Okay, 600 billion, right? The children and adolescents as a lack minimum proficiency in reading and mathematics. This is the effect, right? Okay, but this is a 27% more girl than boy of the primary school age are not attending the school. That's mean, okay, because the poverty, extreme poverty, okay, this is a more to focus the gender, is a you can not deny the girls right, okay, the woman right to attend the school. Okay, this is a one of 5. That means it's one of the 5 children between 6 and 70 years are not attending school. Okay, I believe, right, whether it's Indonesia and the Malaysians, right, is also, right, the facing about the attending school or dropout. Okay, but it's not the big issue, but it's a little big issue still have, right, about the because there is a poverty and the extreme poverty.
Right.
Okay. Okay, at the same time, right? Okay. At the same time, this is a basic infrastructure, basic need is water. In that case, right? In that case, in the world, right, million people remain without even basic drinking water. So, can you imagine? This is water is very important for the life. My previous study, right? My previous study in the previous study by the other scholars, right? Especially in the Rwanda, in Mali, and in find out the water resources, right? You can imagine, but nowadays I believe among this in the because there are poverty in the they are facing about the poverty and the developing country. They have basic is about the rural, for example, is infrastructure for the basic need is can to provide by the government. Okay, but this is effect, yeah, effect, right? There is a lack about the basic drinking water, for example, and also the effect effect for the quality their life. Okay, but at the same time is the basic need is not to achieve, for example, how they have to achieve the sustainability. Okay, this is a scenario, right? The scenario is the real situation in the facing by the world for today. Okay, if they cannot to achieve about the basic need, for example, for food, for example, for water, for example, for their houses, for example, how the people can achieve the sustainability. That's why the side in which the exploitation of resources, right? The direction of investment, the orientation of technology development and institutional things are all in harmony, enhance both current and future potential to meet human needs and aspiration. That's why, right? That's why nowadays, okay, maintaining and exploitation of resources to make sure, to maintain, to make sure to the protect resources to more focus nowadays and the future. That's why to more focus exploitation of the resources, they're using technology development and institutional change, okay, to develop their concept, their sustainability. Okay. Okay. In the context, right? In the context sustainability, right, is a no more focused narrow nation of physical sustainability to concern for social equity between generation. Okay, between generation is you must be protect the loop of the generation, one generation and next generation is have a loop. Have loop is to make sure you must be fulfilled. What indicator can fulfill the loop between the generation. That's why the concept of sustainability include 3 parameters for sustainable development is environment, social, and economics. This is a 3 parameter or indicator is very important to evaluate, to measure, so that the people can be success for the to achieve their sustainability livelihood. Because in the context sustainability, right, and the end, more focus to the livelihood, sustainable livelihood. Because if the sustainable livelihood can't to achieve, how to sustainable in the level country level to one to make sure for achieve. Okay, in the context, right, in the context, the 3 pillar, right, is environment, social, and economics. For example, local participation. Okay, democracy culture is local wisdom also must be involved in the context social for the sustainability. Because in the equity social, the culture is you can to the change the custom, belief, and the human right and so on. Because you must be make sure there is sustain. But how you approve, how you're using to see the institutional thing to this a norm to change, right? For example, right, nowadays, new norms because the COVID, for example, is a that means it's a change the institutional to the so that the people can use, right, using a standard of procedure, for example, to protect their life from the COVID, for example. That's why how you can to change overall from your belief, their custom, and so on. But what the institutional can to change about the environment so that they will have awareness to achieve the sustainability. That's why in the case of economics, right, economics is how the governments, for example, right, to try reduce, right, reduce the poverty, right, poverty using the social safety net. Because the many people can't to achieve this to achieve a sustainability because they are about the limited resources. Limited resources come from where? Because they come from their property. Okay, come property is a cycle property. Track the property you cannot reach, okay, by the people. Because this is a we see a cycle, for example. This is a heritage. Poverty can have a heritage from generation to the next generation. That's why how to bridge the track poverty is very difficult. That's why the government should do, right, should do implementation social safety net, social safety net using the method or approach must be related with the focus group. Okay, nowadays I look, for example, right, skill and training, not the cash transfer. Because skill and training is for the long term planning, right? Skill and training for the focus group. This is a target group, the poor people, for example. Because if you give the cash transfer, okay, give the cash transfer, for example, is for short term, not for short term. For example, one day term, one bantuan sara hidup, for example, give around 100, 500 for the group, vulnerability group, for example, equal group, right? Yeah, income below 4,000, 2,000. Yes, 3,000 to 4,000. Yes, B40 group. Okay, B40 group, at least you give the phase, last phase 500. Can you imagine nowadays 500, right? 500, I'm not sure how much rupiah, right? 500 Malaysians, right? Okay. Can you imagine 500 is you can sell for day, right? Because this is a resources. Okay, this is they because they also they lack education. If they lack education, for example, is also their education until primary, right? Until primary school only, right? Can you imagine what the type, what the skill, what their training, right? Buruh is a labor. So they can depend on one job only. Is they don't have creativity, then have the innovation to move out from their cycle. That's why it's a very important to how this group to the to evaluate the social safety net or the social safety net, especially uh, to support this group. Okay, you must be for me is the government should be give the skill and training, right? So that they can using the skill and training to develop themselves, to find out their others, um, their other resources and come second and third, okay, outside side income for their members. Okay. And also, right, environment, for example, it is nowadays the facing about the bioresources, georesources, water resources, land resources, for example, right? And also the climate, also the resources. But the development, right? The development, okay? You want to achieve to achieve the development, okay? At the same time, you must be clarified, okay? Must okay, you must focus to development. At the same time, is you must be sacrificed for your forest, your environment. That's why in the sustainability, right, you can achieve this sustainability, but at the same time you must be protect with the environment. Okay, for example, the new resident houses, okay, can build up, okay, the local government to put one condition, the construction must be, right, must be protect the environment and tanam balik semula the pokok yang ditebang. Okay, for the environment. This is a three component or three pillar for the sustainability. That's why governance, this is a governance, is very important to monitoring, okay, to the protect for the three pillar. This is a function of governance by government, so that, okay, so that the social, economy and environment will be followed. What a planning, okay, what a planning to achieve the sustainable urban or rural development. For me, it's a sustainable, right? Sustainable, right? Starting about the people, Okay, if the people is not success, how to achieve the sustainable of your country, for example. Okay, that's why there is a understanding about the sustainability development agenda, right? This is is about the start in 2000, right? Because United Nations, right? Okay, to involve to fight the poverty in many dimensions. Okay, that's time. Okay, is United Nations to propose about the Millennium Development Goal (MDGs), right? Okay, the MDG framework is guide, okay, to the setup 15 years, okay, 15 years to the achieve the MDG, okay, to until 2015, okay. That means it's a millennium, okay. This MDG until 2000, until 2005 is have about 8 pillar only, right? The 8 pillar only, okay. But okay, this is at the same time, right? Probably and more to the focus about the extreme poverty and hunger, education, health, for example, combat HIV, to ensure environment and global partnership. Okay, and also reduce child mortality. At the same time, it's also the many people, right? Also include Malaysian and Indonesia. I believe also follow the MDGs for the sustainability for their development. Okay, significant, right? Significant achievement had been made, but many people are being left behind because it's the big gap, right? Exists between. Okay, the poorest and rich household is very big. Okay, the very big. The white, the broad is the income poor and rich is very tangible. So it's at the same is what the issues, right? Because it's at the same time also, right? Climate change and environmental degradation, right? Okay, to affect the poor people, right? Poor people, especially the farmers involved directly in the agriculture. Okay, the agriculture. And at the same time also the effect the agriculture in also directly affect their income. If affect their resources, especially the income, how they to sustain their household, can reduce the expenditure of a income, for example. They don't care about the food security, hunger. At least they can get food every day without, okay, without consideration about nutrition. Okay, my study, okay, I find out for the poor people is don't care about the nutrition in their household. At least they can get, okay, they can get food and priority to their child. Okay, their child. And they are also thrifty so that their money can save their money to buy is important goods only and priority for the children. This is the effect for the suffer. There is also, right, for example, the labor in factory, for example, they lost a job, okay, the income loss is must be pay a rent houses, for example, pay for education, for example. This is the issue and challenging, right, to facing by the every country. But how to solve the problem? But the poverty, right, can't to the eliminate. But how poverty people can come and go, right? Especially in the vulnerability group. Vulnerability group is a time to time, any time. can go to the poverty, at the same time also can go to the move out from the poverty. Nowadays is reality, right? That's why the people in the without access to the basic service. Okay, this is a issue or agenda fight by United Nations to give the awareness among the country, among the people about the sustainability. Okay. At the same time, right, action can work, okay, and that at the same time as an opportunity to build on the success and embrace a new ambition for the future we want. Okay, you decide. Okay, you decide what do you want. What do you the future? What do you want? For example, among the student, right, you have must be nowadays. You must be predict, right, new ambition. For example, what do you want for the 3 years, 4 years after your graduation, for example, after 10 years, who are you? That's why it is related with the sustainability. That's why the new agenda should be truly universal and transformative. Okay. As the human race, we seek a sustainable future. Okay. So, in the DG, right, to propose about the eight pillar, right? Eight pillar to achieve, okay. But the all 180 United Nations members, okay, currently now 160, at least to 23rd International Organization, commit to following MDGs during 2000 until 2015. Okay. But, okay. After 2015, right, 2015, sustainability development from the starting from the MDG, okay, MDG, okay, to can describe more pillar, more to specific, more to deep, more to focus for the focus group. That's why from the 8th pillar, from the sustainable development MDGs, to involve to divide around 17 SDG goals, right, to the agenda sustainable development. Okay, but the start to 115 until 2013, okay, the United Nations through the world through the United Nations using 70 goal or indicator in the SDGs to set up the development in the world or through in the country. Okay, right. But the compare, right? But the compare is the MDGs and the SDGs, right? They have its goal, 21 targets and 16 indicator. This is a MDG. But for the SDG is 70 goals, 116 targets, and 304 indicator. But okay, whether it's a 300 indicator set up by the United Nations, right? 300 indicator or 169 target, but is sometimes is an indicator or target is not relevant with the other country, right? The other country is not. That's why sometimes is the country is not focused about the target or indicator because it's not related or not suitable with the culture and custom. It's okay, no problem. Okay, at least as a pillar, is 70th goal must be followed, but the target and indicator depend the country to follow or not because they are depend on the situation, the custom is a local wisdom and the culture of the nation of the state. Okay, this is a comparison, comparison, right? Within MDG and SDG. Okay, limited goal, more comprehensive, top-down, inclusive goal setting. That means there is SDG more comprehensive and holistic on, and also the conducive, because compare the MDG. That's why MDG is suitable that time 2000, right? Because during MDG will be implement 2000, right? 2000 set up, okay, set up for planning MDG starting around 1996 or 1997 to set up about MDG. Okay, that's why it's a good, there is a realistic for that time. But nowadays, SDG is more too comprehensive, conducive, is to suit with the current situation and your project for 2030, what happened in their country and so on. That's why it's a very, that traditional assistance, for example, and the plus with the universal goal. For so that is your aim and your vision is solid to achieve. They know about what you to achieve the SDG actually, and more comprehensive. That's mean I discuss with you before this, right? More comprehensive. For example, you have a 300 indicator and 169 target. There is more comprehensive. You can suit. It's relevant with your country, for example. Okay, inclusive goal setting and so on. Okay, this is a comparison. Okay, that's why there is a 2030, right? Sustainability development goal is a more focused 5 P's. Okay, 5 P's, right? It's a more to the people, it's a planet, prosperity, peace, and partnership. Okay, in the people, right? Why they focus the people? Okay, the people is well-being of all people, because you must be well-being first for all people to achieve the prosperity, for example, right? To achieve economic growth, for example, and economic development, for example, your country. Because if you success for well-being, inshallah, the time to time, okay, the effect, okay, the impact, the output can achieve. Because you must be sure, make sure the people is well-being first. That's why the basic need is a very important to provide for provide under the by the government. If you don't have a water supply, you don't have electricity, for example, it's transported the road, for example, right? The houses, for example. So if you not to the provide, the country is not provide the facilities, the basic facilities, how you can expect, how you want to target beyond from that, because it's not provide. Okay, under developing country, right? For example, in the South Africa, for example, it's a limited resources, for example. So that mean until now is, for example, Nigeria, for example, Nigeria have oil, for example, but many people also, right? Many people also facing about the poverty extreme, because they can't to provide the basic needs for the well-being. This is one factor to measure, to make sure the people will be success to achieve the sustainability. Okay, planet is a protection of the earth ecosystem, exactly. Okay, it must be protect the ecosystem. Prosperity is a continued economic technology growth. Peace is a securing peace and partnership improving international cooperation. But the 5 aspects are interdependent. Okay, the aspect interdependent. So that is can blend the people plan, prosperity, peace, partnership. It can blend to achieve the sustainable development goals during 2030. Okay. The focus on the people, I think, to make sure the end poverty, for example, from everywhere, and hunger, achieve food security. Okay. They promote sustainable agriculture to ensure their life. For example, this is okay. The pillar one goal, 1 until 5 is more to the people. How to develop the people, right? To develop the people. Inshallah for next week, I will be focused for this pillar, okay, to will be to discuss about them how the Malaysians to the focus the people to make sure the sustainability in the Malaysia, the planning, right? Okay, the pillar 1 or goal 1 until goal 5 is under focus the people. Okay. At the same time, right, there are 6 until 11. Okay, 6 until 11 is more focused plan and prosperity because it's ensure availability and sustainable management. The planet and prosperity is very related because this is how you protect your planet and exactly, right? Exactly is a prosperity is will be achieved. Okay. Okay, also, start 6 until 15 is more discussed about the planet and prosperity. This is how to your, what do mention, the goal, to mention, to ensure how you protect the planet, what you can do it, what you can do, okay? And also the prosperity more to the economics, okay? And last is a peace, okay? And peace is a promote peaceful and inclusive society for sustainable development, provide access to justice for all, the build effective, equitable, inclusive institution at all. But at the same time also to make sure the justice, right, is a peace, the government should to do the introduce the new regulation, new laws, for example, to protect planet and so on, okay? And the last is a partnership, is a strength, the means of implementation and the revitalize of global partner. This is a very important to show about its networking with the others country, for example, to share the knowledge, to share the experience for the others, right? For the others networking, for example, among the country, for example, in the world, to share about this, because this is a how to you can exist the partnership, right? Partnership is with the one aim and one target, right? This is the sustainability goal. That's why each goal is important in itself, right? Okay, sorry, but they can connected. Okay, they can connected because it's sometimes it's a pillar 6 until pillar this is because they are itself, but in the SDG they are connected with these others. Okay, but the sustainability, right, you is that mean it's the more the focus to make sure the future generation can get what their people get before this. Okay, you cannot to deny and avoid, okay, the right of the future generation to get what you get today. You can't to deny or avoid, okay, your future generation to get the same thing. This is a sustainability. They protect the planet, for example, to make sure the ecosystem will be well-being, for example, so that the future generation can get the same situation or better, right? Okay, this is a this chart, right, for the environment, social, and governance. How to the collaboration or cooperate, strategize will be success through the goal SDGs. Okay, in the Asian, right? For example, this is the world in the Asian. Okay, also implementation about the goal Asian SDG, right? To the because the goal 1 to poverty, rural poverty, and climate related disasters is a very important. Okay, this is Asian. And goal 2 starting in wasting. Okay, goal 3 to deep, create a key area or topic more focused by the Asian the country. But this is a more focus because this is an issue crucial, right? To must be focused by members of the Asian country. Okay, this is also the road traffic, accident fatality, tobacco use, right? Maybe the others country, okay, the others members is not to the tobacco use. Maybe they are different, the implementation, but still using under 70s, sorry, 70s goal of sustainability. Okay, women in parliaments, right? Is a Malaysians also. Malaysian is a target. Women managers is a gender. Women managers is child married and mobile phone users also under goal 5, because it's a gender equality, the women empowerment in Malaysia, right? The woman participation in the policy maker is around the target, right? Target around 30%. Okay, 30% come from policy maker, come from the woman. Okay, because their gender equality. Okay, but the goal 6 improve sanitation, improve drinking water. Okay, in the Malaysian also the state, for example in Sabah and Sarawak is the rural, okay, area is facing about the drinking water and the roads. That's why time to time the Malaysians planning, right, to include, okay, providing the drinking water, okay, clean drinking water for the people, especially in the rural. Okay, also the roads. Okay, Go 7 improve electricity access, also facing by Malaysia also. Go 6 use and employment, yes, access or ATM, the credit card ATM, right? Okay, commercial bank, for example, is one of the part. This is the Asian indicator. Okay, Asian indicator to the what we call it, to the achieve the sustainability. That's why this is a more comprehensive, right? It's you can adjustment a goal and target indicator based on your country, for example. That's why it's the strength for the SDG, right? You can suit the indicator related with your country. Government revenue, internet is a partnership, right? The under partnership. This is a government revenue, how the government generate income and so on. Okay, this is a proportion of population living below national poverty lines in the Asian. Okay, this is from 2017 the report. Okay, the population of this is a rural Asian. Okay, in the Malaysians, right? Okay, sustainable development goal in Malaysians, right, is more focused about starting is based on the Malaysian planning. Okay, based on Malaysian planning 5 years. Okay, SDG involved in the 11 Malaysian planning. Okay, I believe in the Indonesia also have a Indonesian planning, right, for the long term. Okay, but 11 Malaysians plan 2016 2020, okay, this year, the last, and next year is coming 12 Malaysian planning. It's but not announced by the government. We're still waiting. Okay, but this is one is to produce, right, to how Malaysian to achieve, right, Malaysian to achieve the sustainability. Okay, to achieve the economic growth, to achieve the economic development through the sustainability in comprehensive in the 11 Malaysian plan. It's a Malaysian plan every year. The start is before this, the start after Independent Day, the Malaysians, right, 1957 is starting about the first Malaysian planning. Until now, we have 11 Malaysian plan. Okay, for the SDG include and involved in the 11 Malaysian planning now until now, right? Okay, Okay, for example, right, in the Malaysians, okay, the 244 indicators, okay, 4 indicators using, but available around 118 indicators only, okay, indicators only, because from the 300, okay, 300, because that's why it's not relevant. It's a um, 20 indicators, okay, it's not relevant, okay. Partial and need future development 36 indicators, 118 from 244 indicators. Malaysian is using a related, right, for the 118, right. Partial available 55 indicator, okay. Not available, that's why maybe because I believe, right, during the United Nations, right, United Nations to the implementation about the indicators is they are not for more focus, not more deep to the what the every country want or to do, okay. That's why when their announcement, okay, when they announcement the indicator, there is more comprehensive. You can choose, okay, the related or not related. It's not compulsory, right? Because you must be because you have a justification why you not choose the indicator, because it's maybe there is a not related with you, okay. For example, the custom, okay, the custom, your belief, for example, local wisdom, for example, okay. The Indonesia and the Malaysian is quite similar, right, from the religion Islam, for example. It's maybe the indicator is not suit with the religion or culture, that's why they avoid, okay. This is from the 244 indicator produced, is around 118 indicator to available to implementation. Okay, in the Malaysians, right? In the Malaysian, okay. For example, the multidimensional goal, right? During the Malaysian plan to implementation, right? Okay, about GDP growth, right? Around 5 to 6% per annum per year. Okay. Also Gini, okay, target, right, to 54,000 454 um, K, okay, by 2020. Okay. And monthly household income, okay, hopefully 10,000 food to achieve. I'm not sure the COVID to achieve or not, right, 2020, but target the report is not produced from the Department of Statistics. And also the target is Malaysia increase well-being index by the 1.7 year per year. Okay, this is a support, right? To support is for example, is enhancing inclusive toward the equitable society. To this is a uplifting B40 household toward a middle class society. That's mean the first target enhancing inclusiveness. Okay, the more focus the poor people. The poor people, that mean is income is under poverty. Is nowadays Malaysians is if below 2,500 is considered as a poor, right? Considered as a poor. I will be discuss with you to show you the table for the next week, inshallah. So because it's how the government try to do. That means it's because this is a prerequisite. Well-being of the B40 of poor people is a prerequisite to achieve the sustainability. That's why this is more focused uplifting B40 household toward a middle class society. Toward class middle society, because it's a Malaysians is implement M20, M40. It's a middle. How the certain income to move out to above around this 2,000, right? 2,000 or 3,000. Okay, to move out, okay, to more than 3,000, I think, to 2,500. Okay, This is a very important. That's why in the more focus, right? More focus to uplifting the B40, many, right? Many program activities by government introduced for the people, okay, so that they can increase their well-being immediately or takes time for the 5 years. Okay, the monitoring, right? The monitoring from the agency involved in that case is a very important. Okay, this is how to the enhancing inclusiveness, improving well-being, human capital, for example, human capital development for an advanced nation. That's why TVET, technical vocational education and training, okay, to emphasize by the government nowadays, especially in the COVID, for example. In the COVID, for example, is how to the technical TVET is a very important to you can channel, you can get their income, generate their income to channel the other perspective. Okay, this is already discussed about the key. This is a Malaysian mapping, right? The strategic one, enhancing inclusive toward equitable society in the Malaysian planning, right? To the more focus about this, right? And involve also SDG. What the SDG pillar can to achieve to achieve the strategy trust 1, for example, 1, 2, 5, 6, 10, and 11. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. This is the pillar 1. Okay. For example, right? Okay. In the Malaysian planning, in the 11 Malaysian planning, right, have a 6 pillar, right? To the 6th pillar, right, is with what the which one the SDGs. Okay, this is 11, 16, for example. But the enhancing inclusive development and well-being is more, is a 6 or 8, right? 8 pillar in the SDGs. Okay. But in the Malaysia planning actually, right, to more for planning for the successful, the country, for example, and involve with to the SDG goal. Because in the end, the SDG goal also will be success. Okay, indirectly also economics development or sustainability through the economic development. Beside in your Malaysian planning, at the same time you also focus about the SDG. This is an indicator, is a method or approach using by Malaysians, right, to the give a parity. What a parity related with the target or the policy pillar. Okay, the absolute poverty reduced. Okay, alhamdulillah, right? But from 49%, okay, 0.6%, okay, poverty, right? But before I said for you, right, the poverty cannot eliminate, right? But how do you minimize? Because time to time poverty, okay? But there is disease and mortality rates, for example, child and infant rate almost about the public health, okay, 65% of the public health service subsidized by the government. Okay, memang is education also, right? The subsidized 50% for secondary, both boys and girls. Okay, at least it's a rate for primary, right? is around 0.3. This is a dropout, I think. A dropout is because it's the lack the basic infrastructure, especially is in the road, right? Very long. This is that's why 0.3, and 90% for secondary school for boys and girls. Okay, still have 10%. Okay. Okay. The basic amenities, for example, water, and for example, 95% in Malaysians and 98% to cover for electric supply. Okay, and okay, need more to focus the network, right? Okay. In the Malaysians, okay. The income equality, okay, they decrease 0.5 and to the 0.4. Okay, there is a lot. It takes time, right? This is not easy. It's from 1 until 5 stage to success the country, to success your country is a depend how you to success every stage, how to you take a long time for the success. Okay, for the successful, the sometimes is a country takes around 40 years, for example. Depend how your groom, how you develop your country for the every stage. Okay, but Malaysians, right, I believe until now is around 62, 63. Yes, long time, the long journey to successful. Okay, but also the sustainability, right? It's after 2013, right? Maybe the new paradigm for the to measurement about the development goal, for example, new indicator, right? Because it's it's not after 20 years, for example. Okay, this is moving how what the Malaysians are planning. Okay, Malaysian planning to successful about the uplifting B40 household to middle class is increasing income economic potential, about nutrition, right? The health, tackling the new dimension of the nutrition, enhancing food security. This is enhancing food security is very important because sometimes the people is not about the food security. At least they can get food is enough for today is enough for them. But at the same time also in the food security, right? How do you process, right? How they process how they process the food is must be give a parity, right? How to they process the food. That's why it's the food security in the level is household is very important. In national level is how the increase the skill of the farmers, right? For example, to increase skill of farm, one chance, right? One relationship is very important to achieve one step the Malaysian implement, right? So they, for example, give a scale for the farmers using this for their household. Okay, this is communicate okay, population, okay, how the Malaysian planning, right, to the national planning, non-communicable disease, okay, and then is gender, for example, goal, what the national goal must, that mean, or I repeat back, this is no poverty, for example, in Malaysian planning, right? The mesh with the SDG. Okay, Dr. Rahma. I'm sorry if I speak very fast.
No, that's fine. No, that's fine. It's going. Yeah, we are following. We are following, and sorry that there is an echo. I don't know. Please go. You still have some slide to be shown.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you again, Professor Zubir. I don't know. I tried not to make an echo. Let me see if I just stop my video. Okay, is it better?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll give the time. We still have a time. It's thank you again, Professor Zubir. We already heard what is the concept of sustainable development that moved from MDGs to SDGs, and how actually sustainable development translated into different indicators. There are many hundreds of indicators, and it
Yes.
could be adopted depend on the country. So it could be modified, adjusted, yeah, depend on the country. And Professor Ahmad Zubir already show how actually the goals is already used or translated into the 11 Malaysian plan. Yeah, in Indonesia, it's also having the long-term planning, the medium, and the short-term. So the long-term we do have for 20 years, and then 5 years is the medium plan, and then the annual plan. So that's the short-term. And similar to Malaysia, we also incorporated the sustainable development goals in both the long-term, the medium, and the short-term. So it is interesting to see how actually the adoption, because the challenges in each country are different.
Yes.
So the priorities and then which goal to be addressed first, it really depend on the country. So please, student, if you have any question, comment based on what we been listening, And based on what I've already give you for the previous lecture, so you can connect it how actually the concept and then the development in general, the objective of the development. I open for student. You can raise your hand or you can unmute or you can write in the chat room. So I will ask the see. And please turn your camera on so we'll know that you are here. Is there any question? If you have any question, please unmute. If not, I will probably start or provoke a question and how discussing between the sustainable and growth, because the idea of developing country in the very beginning is focusing on economic growth.
Yes.
And we always see that the growth is still become an ideology in many countries. Yeah. So how actually the trade-off between the sustainable development goals and the economic growth goals. While waiting for the other question. Would you mind responding how is the trade-off between the economic growth and the sustainable development goals? Because many is still focusing on the economic growth. Can you hear me, Professor Ahmad Zubir?
Yeah. Sometimes I heard, sometimes I'm not clear.
Okay. Let me type down in the chat box. Yeah.
Yeah.
How is the trade-off between SDGs and economic growth? Since developing countries still focusing on economic growth.
Okay. Okay, I answer. Okay, actually, Doctor, okay, between the SDG and the economic growth is very important. It's have a relationship because you more focus about trade-off indirectly, okay, indirectly to the economic growth. Economic growth more to the focus income per capita. Income per capita for the income for the nation or the country. But you must be remember, in the SDGs, is one part prosperity in the economics, right? One economic pillar and economic and also involved in the prosperity to maintain, to make sure the prosperity or the economic growth can be achieved, right? Will be achieved through the SDG, right? Through the SDG with the indicator approach involved to the increase the economy. That means how you decide for the trade-off. During your using the trade-off for to make sure the economic growth, you make sure this the element to indicator to the SDG under prosperity, right? Prosperity indicator, 5 P's I discussed with you, must be followed. Not 100%. You know, not overall the indicator you should be followed, but you is selected the indicator you related with your country to follow, so that, right, so that you achieve 2 in 1. At the same time, your economic growth you will sustain. At the same time, also the prosperity in the context SDG also will be achieved. That means using the indicator under prosperity, right? Indirectly, you also achieve the economic growth in the trade. Okay, it's not easy. You implementation about SDG indicator, for example, in the trade. But if you try to achieve, you can follow about this guideline and you can suit, because SDG is not compulsory, but it's more comprehensive. But you should be make adjustment, right? The adjustment of the SDG so that you can achieve the economic growth at the same time also your success in the trade. Okay.
Thank you for the response. Okay, student, is there any question from you? Please.
Miss,
Okay.
I want to ask.
Okay, Elza, please.
Yes.
Okay.
Good morning, sir. I want to ask how to achieve Millennium Development Goals or SDG in Malaysia through international cooperation, because I am still a little confused about how countries carry out about this cooperation. Thank you.
Okay, all right. Thank you. Okay, for the MDGs, right? MDGs is finished around to the expired, right? The term expired, right? 2015, right? Through the MDGs, okay, Malaysia also will be success, okay, also success to achieve, but certain indicator cannot to achieve because has a barrier, right? That's why the barrier is for example, right? That's why I show you the indicator is not related with the Malaysian environment surrounding, for example. But for the partnership, right? The partnership is Malaysian is nowadays, for example, based on the MDGs until now SDGs, right? To collaboration with any, I think there's similar with the Indonesia also, to make relationship with the other countries, okay, the other countries in the world without Israel, right? Without Israel. Okay, except Israel, because in the passport Malaysians, okay, the citizen can go anywhere in Malaysia without except Israel. The license job, the passport, right? Because because the relationship nowadays, right? There is a more to the China, right? The China is how to the help the country, for example, to the collaborate in especially in the trade, right? In the trade for the, so that is to achieve the economic growth. In the economic growth, for example, is a continue with the Malaysia plan Malaysian, for example, Malaysian to make sure the prosperity, okay, without avoid the SDG, the indicator. The partnership is also have I forget, right, but how the 2 or 3 or indicator to using by the Malaysians is also so that is a Malaysian success with the collaboration with the other country. That's why the Malaysian also involved in under SDG, for example, in the agreement, the under PBB, for example, United Nations, right, is a member. I think the Indonesia also is the opportunity, right, to build up the good relations with the other country to the to the members on society and so on, right? Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Professor. So MDGs is not applied because it's already
Yes.
expired.
Yes.
So it's just replaced by the SDGs.
Yes.
But it is actually the continuation. Yeah, the
Yes.
continuation. The goal is much more broader, and then the indicator is much more larger. Yeah, there are a lot of
Yes.
indicators.
Long
Okay.
time.
Yeah. Is there any other question? Please unmute, and then you can, or you can raise the hand. Let me see. Mbak Adiba, is there any question from the YouTube? If it goes to the YouTube.
There is no other question, Miss.
Okay, then no, not in the YouTube. Okay, is there any question? Usually we have a lot of discussion. Come on. Yeah. So, do you? What is the biggest problem actually, or the biggest challenge to meet the goals?
Yeah, challenging, doctor, right? Is mindset, right? The
Yeah.
P40 actually is more focused about the people, right? Because for me, it's cannot you cannot to if the people can't to change the mindset, how to you to change the about the development landscape of the nation, right? The mindset. Because the poor people or low group, right, or B40 in Malaysia, right, is still is a wait and see, because what the transformation about to implement by the government through the program activities related with them is they cannot to try. It don't have they're scary. It worried about fail because they are sustain in their comfort zone, right? In comfort zone. That's why it's very difficult and challenging to the transform their mindset. There will be success is, for example, right, their colleague, right, is success implement with the program, there will be try, right? This is challenging. At the same time, also the political issue involved in the implementation, also I think there is one of part indirectly to affect the implementation about the success for the program. With the mindset.
Yeah, that's interesting. I agree with you that the mindset, the ideology,
Yes.
the idea is still, thinking about about more selfish thinking. So
That's why, doctor, they should be more focused to their children among the school during the school, right? That's why the teacher try to explain for example, right, for nutrition, for the health, for example, through their children,
right?
so that their children can hopefully can explain, can tell their parent, because their parent cannot to make improvement in anything. Right?
Yeah, and also probably the concepts need to be introduced to all the students who in the future become the decision makers.
Yes.
So it's important to make a policy that meet the objective of the SDGs.
Yes, yes. Exactly, doctor.
Yeah, so that's why we introduce the SDGs currently in the universities.
Yes.
Because it's very important that we make a difference by having, making a policy that's sustainable and not, especially in Indonesia in regard to the forest issues, the changing of the forest into all the different monoculture and kelapa sawit everywhere.
Yeah, betul. The issue environment, right?
Yeah. Environment is very big issue, not only because making or contribute to the climate change.
Yes.
But it also creating a different, creating a poverty as well because of the hazard or disaster that created. Like in Indonesia, as you know, we always have annual smoke disaster.
Yes, smoke disaster. Understand? Yes.
So
Okay.
that's also part of unsustainable way of
Yeah.
using the environment.
To planet.
Yeah, right. And also how is the issue in urban poverty? Do you think it's also become a new problem in Malaysia, or is there any uh, issues in urban development?
Okay. Okay. Nowadays, doctor, the case is also in the urban poverty also increase because the migration. Because the
Okay.
migration from rural to the urban, right? To the
Yes.
increase drastic, right? To the urban poverty, because in the Malaysian plan, right, to report 60% poor at the poor people at the urban, 60%. The
Wow, that's
yes, very good. Compare in the rural around 30%. This is to
mm,
show about the migration, because it's nowadays the youth, right, especially, is don't want to be involved in agriculture sector.
it's similar to Indonesia.
Yeah,
Yeah, people
yeah,
move to the urban area.
yeah. That's why the is agriculture sector is a warga mas. The old people, if the old people is sustain in the maintain in the agriculture sector, how can get increase the production?
Right.
Because there is a, a comfort, is a
Traditional one is not
traditional, yes.
using technology.
Is the mindset cannot accept the progress, the transformation. Compare the youth or
I
young
lost your
people.
voice.
Yes, it's very difficult, right, to change. That's why Malaysian to the still until now self-sufficiency level for security around 70%. 30% is to import from the others country, right? But at the same time also the land paddy to convert for the development, build up
Right.
the using, build up the school, build up the hospital. So can you imagine how about the for the 20 years ago? Okay, the food
Yeah.
security, right? Maybe they decrease.
Yeah, it's similar in Indonesia, although right now the urbanization rate is 40%. So 40% people move to the city. It's quite high in Indonesia.
Yeah.
So the rural is also become neglected. Yeah, so it's only a elderly person who
Yes.
manage the rural area. So it's really a big problem. I guess it's similar to Indonesia. So that would be interesting for next week discussion, how
Yeah.
actually to plan.
That's why to solve the problem, doctor, the Malaysians, right? The government try to implement, attract the young people come back to the agriculture sector, as launching about the agriculture is a business, right? Using the technology, using the transformation, right? So that the also, right, the government should provide a fund for the young people to involve directly in the agriculture sector. Because this is they are the critical, right? Because the old people, right, to the in the agriculture sector. So how the production will be increased, right? That's why the young people is to need to involve.
Yeah, it's very important
Yes.
to return the young people to the
Yes.
rural
Yes.
area.
Yeah.
Okay, if you don't want to ask in English, you can ask from Indonesia, because we do also have
Okay, no
the.
problem.
Ya, silahkan. Nanti saya terjemahkan, atau Bapak
No problem.
Profesor juga sudah bisa bahasa
Ya,
Melayu,
ya,
hampir
betul.
sama.
Kita serumpun.
Serumpun. Silahkan kalau ada pertanyaan. If you are not going to ask in English, you can speak in ask in Indonesia too. Silahkan. Masih ada yang ingin bertanya? Tufail, Adimas, Fatimah, Ervan, Devi, Alisa. Ada lagi yang mau ditanyakan?
Ke mau simpan minggu hadapan?
Atau mau simpan untuk minggu depan? Okay. So, okay, if you want to keep it, yeah, prepare the question for next week. We are going to discuss how the sustainable development will be implemented in planning, because how the goals could be incorporated in the planning process, yeah, for especially in the case of Malaysia, you can understand because you already learned the process of planning in Indonesia, and you can see how actually sustainable development could be adopted and could be incorporated in the planning process, yeah. So again, Professor Ahmad Zubir, thank you for having available for being lecture, yeah, the guest lecture or professor lecture we call it. This is the first time we do have the guest lecture for the UUM, Universitas Utara Malaysia, although UMY, Muhammadiyah University, have already collaborated for some time. We are grateful that the collaboration work, and then go hopefully in the future we can always having, yeah, inshallah, for exchange, yeah, sharing. So I can also become a guest lecturer in your class. It would be also okay.
Yeah.
And again, prepare your question for the next week. The reading is still on the sustainable development and planning. So hopefully we can have you can present also, because we are from different part of Indonesia. So you can tell your planning process, your region planning process to Professor Ahmad Zubir. We can have a good discussion on the planning implementation, how actually you make a plan that could be implemented to reach the sustainable development goal. Again, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Session. Do you have any closing remark for the class?
Sorry?
Do you have any closing remark or no?
Thank you very much. Your attention and your student attention, inshallah, I very appreciate. They give me opportunity. Inshallah, next week meet again.
Okay, inshallah, we will see each other again on next week, and prepare your question. You can keep your burning question, and then you can also share the planning process in your area. It would be interesting to have the discussion at the different level of government. Okay, thank you, and I will end this class today. And Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you, Prof. I see you next week.
Okay, inshallah.
Inshallah, next week.